We live in a dot world. Living in a dot
We live in a
com.
dot world. Welcome to BetaHaus.Life. This is Benjamin and
Elizabeth.
we are happy to hang out with you guys today. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, and the video if you're watching this on YouTube.
If you're listening, I just finger gunned the people that are watching. So.
Yeah, so we're getting used to this whole podcast way of doing things because we've both been on YouTube and we're used to having that visual for people to fall back on. So if we forget to narrate something for you, we are sorry. We are trying hard, but we may forget one or two actions.
We're doing
let you
our
know
best.
what's going on. So this is our first episode.
Yeah.
First
Yay!
it's always
Silent high
exciting.
five.
Actually, quiet high five.
Quiet high five.
That was not silent.
Okay.
For those of you listening, we just high-fived each other.
Yes.
In case you couldn't figure that out.
Since I said high
want to
five.
let you know that's what we just did.
But we're not going to clap real loud. We're going to try and keep you. We might laugh or something, but we don't want to, peek your ears out.
No.
So.
And we're not going to try to do really quiet things either. We will try to keep the volume in the middle.
Right in the middle, right in the happy middle.
Yeah, Goldilocks zone with that.
No mukbang, no chewing, no
Ugh,
ASMR
gross.
noises.
Oh, for those of you who are listening, I just recoiled in horror a little at the thought of a mukbang because I hate those types of
Beth
noises.
does not do mouth noises.
So.
No.
But we've got a reason for this episode, so let's go ahead and get to our
Beyond
reason.
this is so good.
This is not a great reason. But this first one is just to kind of explain what Beta Haus Studio is. So this is the podcast and video kind of talking about what we are part of Beta Haus Studio. And Beta Haus Studio itself is a physical thing.
You can come to here.
We are there right now. We are
Yes.
recording there. And it's been my idea for years. And we're finally getting to do it, which is exciting.
Quiet high five again.
High five again, right there. And it's fun to be recording in here. I'm actually excited to finally have the equipment. And, there's still more things coming in because, that's just the way it is. Every shipment doesn't come in at the same time. And I'm having fun in the fact that today we are recording on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Something simple, easy. We have great cameras coming. They're not here yet. We've actually had quite an adventure trying to get our
Just
cameras.
trying to get 3 cameras in. They're coming from 3 different places.
Yeah, 3 different places.
Yep.
But it's all the same camera. We had to go to 3 different places.
It went on sale,
3,
folks.
and yeah,
They sold out.
we got a confirmation that they were coming, and then all of a sudden,
Then they said we're getting none.
Then we're getting none, and then we get another email saying we're getting 1, and we finally had to call and be like, okay, what the heck?
What is going on? So
Yeah.
we're all squared away.
Yes.
Everything's happy now. The gear will be here on Monday.
Yes.
But
they're all still getting here the same day, which is kind
Yeah.
of crazy that, with all of that, we're still getting them the same day. But rather than waiting yet another couple of days, because it feels like we've been trying to do this podcast for 2 weeks now
Right.
to get it recorded.
I keep saying we need to do this. We need to do this. There's been
And-
other things that have to be done.
And starting a business. And so it's like, we do it now, we do it with what we have, and we get it going rather than waiting another couple of days. And that puts us another little bit behind because with editing and getting it all done.
Well, and we'll get into this a little more later, so I'm not going to dig into this real deep. But in reality, is we've done a lot of recording on iPhones.
Oh, yeah. A whole lot.
And so there are going to be people who come in to the studio, and they'll do the recording on an iPhone. And honestly, the cameras on those now are amazing.
Yeah, you can do great content with that. Now, we offer for people who want the next step up, we're going to have that.
We'll have that too.
When we talked about, or I talked about, you kind of sat there nodding when I was talking, but that...
Can't hear nodding on the podcast. Sorry, everybody.
That, this Beta Haus Studio is a space, but that what makes Beta Haus Studio unique, is that this place is designed to be a rentable studio. It's not that it's going to be our studio that we rent out to other people.
It's only ours.
It is a rentable space designed for podcasters, designed for short video creation.
Master classes.
YouTube.
Coursework, training.
The table that we're sitting at is a beautiful white table. We can turn it another way, the way it is right now. It fits
Or
best
go
in the
down
room.
to 1 or none.
Yeah, and you could do unboxings, or you can do a lot of different types of videos here. And that's what I thought was neat. We've set up the space, and we'll have a studio tour, which will be a lot of fun that we're going to do. We're still got a couple more pieces coming in.
Almost ready.
And in this little room, we have 4 different studios ready to go, 4 different scenes and feels, and I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, where we're sitting today, I picked this background for a reason because this is kind of like the blank slate background. And for
I'm
those
Vanna
of you
Whiting
listening,
right now for everybody who's listening.
It's basically a gray wall behind us. We've got some uplight shooting up it, and we put it just on the white spectrum.
But you can choose your color.
Yeah, you can do colors back there. But with this being a new podcast and this being the new video, and I thought how nice that we're starting episode 1. It's a blank slate.
Right.
From here on, we're creating something. But with this first episode, we have no back content that we're trying to match, that we're trying to be.
No, it's brand new. It's fresh.
Yeah,
it's
we're
fun.
getting to make it. So we're going to do these first 2 episodes in the blank slate format right here with this. And then my plan is as we go that we're actually going to rotate around the room. And you're going to get to see us,
Spin around the room.
if you're listening, maybe not so
then
exciting.
Then you're not going to care as much.
But if you follow us on the social media, we'll have a picture of us, showing. So
I can take a selfie of us doing
Ben's
this
going to do
now.
our selfie right now.
In the moment,
in the
in
moment,
situ.
So you get it.
And
You're
nope,
smiling.
that's a bad camera.
He's right.
There we
He's
go, above the boom
hiding
arm.
me
All right.
with the microphone for a minute.
Ready,
Here we go. We're going to do our
1, 2,
photo.
3. There we go.
So if you follow us on social media, you knew that we took that photo before this episode came out.
We're going to post it right now?
Yeah, go ahead and post it. We'll
All
live
right.
post as we're sitting here.
All right.
Keeping that going. That can be one of our little things is that, it's part of our episode.
You want to follow along.
Yeah.
Keep up with the story.
And if you're following us there, you know more soon. And that's Instagram. It's really easy to find us. We are Beta Haus Studio.
All one word.
Yeah. So it's very straightforward, very easy. Twitter's beta_house because of what was available. So
Yep. Twitter's a little more populated with that.
And it's HAUS. That's one thing, I had some fun with the name right there with my German background that we were going to be HAUS instead of HOUSE.
And my background is Celtic, so you don't want to try and do Gaelic
I
spellings.
can never keep track of what those letters are. So
I think they just made some up.
So that's our studio. I'm excited that we're in here. We've got also a living room set up that I think is really cool. I get to look at it from where we're sitting right now and getting to see that. And there are these 2 comfy chairs and a picture behind it and a little plant on a table to help it feel kind of homey and great for a 2-person conversation. Then we've also got the standard backdrops, the modeled gray-black one that looks gray in person, but when we film on it, actually comes out a whole lot more black. So it's interesting to see that kind of happen. I was like, oh, that's
But it's not
neat to
flat.
see.
It looks good. It looks really
gives
good.
a little
I'm very
dimension.
happy with it.
And we've got a flat gray behind it, and that one's great because if you want to put color light on it, you can change that one's color.
And we can do flat white too. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
there's a white wall
whatever
behind
you
it.
need, whatever your look is, we're in good shape.
And so it's kind of neat to have those different spaces, and make it ultra usable, but fun to be in too. You don't feel like it's super sterile in here at all. I've seen studios where they have the black foam up, and that black it works. But at the same time, there's that's not my vibe.
No,
at all.
no,
and
no.
So it's
Welcome to the surgical theater for your ears.
yes,
It's no good.
You I mean, I'm sure they
Not our
are
vibe.
so perfectly tuned for sound,
Yeah.
And there's something beautiful about perfection with that, but that's not my life.
No, that's not most people's life.
Yeah,
Most people don't operate in that realm of perfection.
And I think authentic goes a lot further
Mhm.
in our
I do
world
too.
now. So that's the space. A little bit more about what we think, and for creation, and moving forward, part of what we wanted to create was a space where anybody could come create. You don't have to be a seasoned professional. You don't have to already have 100 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. Any minimum, anybody can come in, and record. Obviously, it is by appointment, and there are rental fees with that. I'm not just saying just walk in and say, I want to record right now.
If you come and storm the doors, we'll try and figure something out.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to record right
We
now.
are a new business.
Yeah.
But, but we believe everybody has something to say.
Yes, absolutely.
And,
a unique perspective on life that nobody else has because it's yours.
and we I know personally, I sometimes will downplay what I have to say because
Right.
like, oh, well, other people have said that. Other people have already been done. It's not anything new.
There's
I'm
nothing
not
new under the
creating
sun.
great
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But the truth is, every story is unique.
Mm-hmm.
Every viewpoint is unique. Oh my goodness, that was just thunder.
I don't
I'm gonna
know
like totally share that because
I don't know if that's
we're
going to
in
come
San Diego.
across or
I know.
not.
I kind of hope it does because we're in San Diego. and
Rain
it
does not
doesn't
happen here enough.
Rain here a whole lot, and it really does not thunderstorm a whole lot. And it was like, whoa, thunder.
Well, coming from a place where thunderstorms with a reg,
Yeah.
you know, there's a comforting, nostalgic home feel to a good thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Usually those are in the summer.
Yeah. So we're digressing though. I'm gonna
That's
try
okay.
I'm gonna try to
No,
stay on
it's a
point,
fun
but
rabbit hole.
If you're hearing thunder today, you can celebrate a little bit with us.
Yeah.
If you're because when we're freezing, people may be freezing too while we're recording this. So,
Oh, yeah.
I hope you're staying warm
To
wherever
our friends
you
and
are.
family in the Midwest,
Yeah.
stay inside, stay warm.
Yeah, we're
Stay safe.
experiencing California winter right now, which means it rains, and
Yep.
nobody wants to go out in the rain or drive or do anything. But yeah, going back to everybody has something to say. I mean, I have so often though discounted as I was bringing up with that before the lightning totally distracted me. That was my rabbit or squirrel. And finding your viewpoint, your unique story, and not even that you have to feel like you're super unique. No matter what, your story is unique because nobody's lived your life. Nobody has seen the exact articles you have seen. Nobody has had the same friends you have. You know, all of that comes together to create your unique story. And that gives you a unique viewpoint on what you're wanting to say.
Right.
And we also, want to support creators who have something great to say or even experts in their fields.
Right. We met somebody that was brand new in a field last night at a farmer's market of all places. And we're not gonna give any spoilers to him. He was doing something truly unique.
And he may be one of our guests. We were talking with him about that.
And so we bought his stuff because it was like, this is impressive. This is legitimately different.
Yeah, and but you don't even, and I use the word expert loosely because, I used to think growing up that like an expert was like somebody who had a PhD, and they were like the people that the news, the news would interview and bring in, because they're an expert on this. And like the level that you had to reach to be an expert. Well, I think today, because of your unique take on where you are, it's almost like you're an expert on your life where you are.
Well, we were listening to another podcast this morning while we were getting ready, and they were talking about people who are doing online coursework and that sort of thing. And they said, look, if you just read a couple of blogs, read 2 books, and now you're calling yourself an expert, that's an issue.
Yeah.
You've not walked through
you're
it.
just
They said
copying.
once you walk through something yourself and you've had to kind of figure out what your MO is within that realm, and you've developed pathways and systems for working through it, then you've owned it. Then you can start to call yourself an expert.
Yeah. And I think that even, if you're authentic about where you are and honest with your viewership, like, I'm learning this.
Yeah.
You want to learn with me.
Right.
And then while you may not be an expert on what you're learning, you are the expert in your journey through learning that.
Absolutely.
And knowing the difference between the two. And that's, we're here for those people who are wanting to take a journey and take a community along with them. I'm going to say community because that's an easier term. It's not, kind of goes along the whole spectrum, whether it's social media, YouTube, podcast world, your community is all of those combined.
Right.
I'm having to be careful. I've got a YouTube background. I tend to use YouTube specific terms quite a bit. So just if I do that, just know I'm meaning community.
Right. But we're also not going to try and sell you T-shirts right now either.
No, we're not going to go into our merch, which we do have merch, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
But we're not
selling it here.
You have to come to the store to get it, or to the studio.
Come to the studio.
Yeah. But so that's one of the things. We also wanted to be a place for creative collaboration. And that's what we're wanting to start using our online platforms to do, is to be able to get that community collaborating. And I know there are already several out there. We're not pretending to be the first group out there. I've gotten to get involved with a lot of ones that meet up in person here in San Diego, which has been ultra cool.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten to meet so many interesting people doing so many different things. And that's really been neat. But also this online world, like I'm getting into a couple of national groups right now, and some of them are small creators, some of them are larger creators, and seeing the different things people struggle with, but the same things too, because there's a lot of things that, go across whether you have 100 subs or 100,000 subs. Right. Everybody is still trying to come up with what am I going to create next, and
there are points of commonality for everybody, no matter where you're at.
And how am I authentic with my community?
Right.
How am I getting to engage my community? That is consistent. That's not going to change whether you have 1 million or 100 or even 10 people in your community. And in being a YouTuber, I'm going to go back to my YouTube time, I learned that creating and being comfortable in the creative space really starts to blossom and grow when you have a team. Right. When you have a group together. And it's not that you're like paying an editor or you've got suddenly somebody running your camera or your sound or whatever. That's not what I'm talking about, building a team. I'm talking about having that community of creators that can understand what you're doing. You're not having to explain, now, how do you make money doing that? It's not like grandma at the family reunion.
Tell me about the YouTubes.
Yeah. But it's having people that you can bounce ideas off of. Right. It's having people who understand what it's like to be editing at 10 p.m. and to have Final Cut crash. And
that was a scary thing you just said.
Yeah, it happens. And you're like, oh my goodness, please still be there. Don't have lost the file.
No. Yeah.
And also people who you can talk to about, I cannot come up with another show idea right now to save my life. I mean, I am totally hitting a brick wall. And, by sitting down with other creators, and even if they're brainstorming for their stuff, you're brainstorming for yours, there's something that happens when you get a group together that creativity grows.
Right, absolutely.
And so that's part of having a team. Now, does it help to have somebody who's like passionate about editing in your friend catalog?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's
like having the friend with the pickup truck.
But, and I'm going to say, make sure that it's a two-sided friendship.
There you go.
That you have something to offer back to them.
There you go.
You don't want to be a mooch.
No.
In this. I'm not telling you to be a mooch unless you're willing to employ them.
Right.
Don't make sure it is not one-sided.
Put some money in their pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah, help them out.
Take them out to dinner or to coffee. Do something.
Bartering's cool.
Yeah, bartering is totally cool. I lived in that world for years.
Yeah, but at some point you also have to pay the bills, and they need to pay theirs.
Yeah, they need to pay rent.
Yep.
So Beta Haus Studio also, because of the way we're set up, this world has changed so much. Even since I started a couple of years ago, that, the production level that's kind of required to be on the normal level has risen. Equipment costs, they keep coming out with newer, better, more awesome cameras.
Right.
When we started, a smartphone didn't cost $1,000.
No.
A smartphone with a camera that's good to do this.
But
that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the reality. Now, the good thing is if you're using your smartphone, it is not a unitasker. It is a multitasker,
Right.
at least that if you're going to invest in something. I would say if you're trying to start this and you want to invest in one thing, I would suggest that one strongly because of what you can do with it. But, we've got in here, and we're still a fairly modest setup. We're not like a Hollywood production studio here.
No, but we bought good stuff.
We bought really good stuff. And it was expensive.
Yeah, it absolutely
I've watched every single one of those bills get paid. I'm still watching all of those bills get paid.
They're almost done.
And I know you hold my hand quite a bit in all of that. So there's
we were even walking through that earlier. It's like, do we need all of this, or
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that everything gets produced properly and it's done right. But you can also be metered in how you do it. So
live streaming has come a long way. To produce a good, and I have to say now the word to produce, because it takes a team to make a strong live stream now.
Right.
It's gone completely away from the single person live stream because we got a simple system, wasn't cheap, but
no.
And I say simple just because it's easy to use.
Right, user friendly.
It's very user friendly.
It's super complicated. I couldn't make it if I wanted to, but it's super user friendly.
And to run that, you need at least like something to be filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So however many people you were filming or whatever you were filming,
Mm-hmm.
you can run a computer feed into it
Right.
to where like if you had slides or something that you wanted to put
Some
up,
sort of visual effects you would
you
add
can
in.
switch over to that too. You can have multi-cameras.
Mm-hmm.
And
Up
then,
to 10. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now 10 if you're not live mixing it.
Right.
Because it does have the video switcher for it that you can switch, like using an iPad, which I thought was so cool. Like you can use an iPad for
But if you're doing that, you can mix 4.
You can do 4 inputs video-wise. Then you have a sound input as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a soundboard. We're recording on Shure SM7Bs. We've got the extra bits that go along with that, and then into a Zoom recorder. If
you want to know the technical stuff, I'm the sound person, so you can ask me.
All of these bits,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say this is almost standard now for a podcast.
Yeah. Well, and it's standard for doing something that's got quality.
Yeah.
And it's editable, controllable. You can actually do what you want to do with it. You're not going to be sitting there the whole time going, well, I wish we'd had X, Y, or Z.
I mean,
it's the right stuff.
We're downtown San Diego, and if they rerouted planes over us, which could happen. I mean, strange things happen sometimes. It's not the norm. We are not in the normal flight path. It would be very odd that they were coming over us, but it may happen. Because of the microphones we're using, the chances of that bleeding through to any sort of noticeable extent.
Right. It's about nil.
You might hear a little bit of it, but it's not going to be overwhelming.
Right. And we won't even know until because we haven't experimented with thunder.
I know. We don't have it to test with.
We'll find out, if that actually translated through or not.
Came through.
It did rattle the whole building.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 15-story building, and the whole building shook. So it must have been close.
That was a good. Well, they said it was supposed to be hitting the beaches, and we are like right here. So
we're 3/4 of a mile from the beach.
Not even that.
Well, no, not even that. No, not from the bay.
Home is, but we're.
But yeah.
So that is what the studio is now. Who am I? Who is Ben?
Mm-hmm.
We are married.
Yep.
That's why the name is the same. We are not brother sister. We are the Hedgepeths.
Yeah.
Try saying, for those of you, it is a weird name. I know.
There's a vowel missing in the middle. You just got to deal with that.
You say it like you've got rocks in your mouth.
Yep.
And we have kind of an interesting relationship in that we have worked together for a long period of time. I'm not going to get into that history. History's in the next video, but we have
a lot of working experience.
We've worked together pretty much our entire marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And we were even working together before married in college. So we've learned each other's styles. We're great together. We understand that team dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, I've had a little bit of fun with what our roles are because it's backwards from what most people think. Most people will think, oh, he's the head and, things.
Yeah.
When actually, I'm the CEO.
She's
Beta
the boss,
Haus
folks.
is mine.
I'm the GM. She's the boss. She runs this thing.
I own 100% of the stock for this business. Whatever that is worth right now. But, I own all of it. It is mine. Yep. I am chairman of the board.
Mm-hmm. All the titles belong to her. I am simply the general manager because I do systems and structures, and I'm good with monotony. And if somebody needs to hang out and coil cords, I've got that. I have no problem with that. I'm happy to do it.
And, where you are in life right now, Ben is a great creator.
Mm-hmm.
And
thank you. I said, yeah, you're right. I am. I'm a great creator.
And he hasn't had time to devote to your own personal
No.
stuff. And so by working here, he's going to get to spend time on that too.
Right.
You know, and that's the long-term goal.
Yeah, in theory, right?
Yeah,
right
in
now
theory.
is in theory while we're opening stuff, but long-term, yes. I have several books I need to write. Several books I need to write. And there's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm. And
Fun stuff, good stuff.
I'm looking forward to getting to see you build your brand through all of this and who you are. You know, I've had my own brand for a while. And Grace and Letty's Media, that is separate from Beta Haus Studio, our YouTube channels. I have one where it's my art, and that was the one that got me in YouTube and taught
up to the
me
point
a whole lot about-
monetized, getting up. You know, we'll talk about that more later.
Yeah,
but
and then we have Dailyish, which is the two of us together. It's our play channel.
Yeah.
Where we just get to sit and talk about really silly, lighthearted things.
Yes. There's no politics. There's nothing that's going to offend. Well, there's something to offend everybody.
Oh, somebody can get offended.
It's not
on anything.
intentionally inflammatory.
We have talked about Florida Man quite a bit on that
Florida
channel.
Man. Yep. Love Florida Man. Yep. But that's we get to have some fun and be silly. And this is going to be more in line with the purpose and the heart behind our professional lives and what we're doing.
And the cool thing, I'm looking forward to this in particular, this life or BetaHaus.Life. We're still working the name, like if we're going to say the dot or not. So we're trying the dot out right now.
I'm pro dot.
Yeah.
If you're pro dot, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
BetaHaus.Life.
BetaHaus.Life.
That's the website. Yeah.
The website where this is going to be located and stored. And it's the point of this one is because we have a story, we believe everyone has something to say. We're going to be bringing in a lot of guests on this show.
Right. We want to curate stories for you.
And I'm getting to read beautiful books right now on curation. And yeah, that's where I like to read. I'm reading curating books.
And she makes fun of what I read.
Yeah.
Her favorite is, we were on vacation one time. I'll digress shortly here. We were on vacation one time. I'm sitting on the beach. And
on the beach, a beautiful place where we're supposed to be relaxing.
And I'm reading a book called Shades of Sheol, which is all about the Jewish understanding of the afterlife back in like Old Testament times, up into like the Roman occupation.
And
so,
which
I thought it was thoroughly fascinating.
The surface, it sounded like it would be really, really interesting.
Yeah. But
I started reading a little bit of it, and it was written so dry and boring. It's like you took this beautiful topic and you killed it.
I thought it was great. That's me, though. So we are very different. But again, we've been together, been married almost 20 years, been together 23 years now.
Almost 23.
So, I mean, we know each other. We know those quirks and eccentricities. I always have to fix the toothpaste tube after she uses it and all that kind of good stuff. So... But we're good with that.
Oh, that's just the way it is.
That's life.
And I'm okay with that. I'm not feeling like I'm left out or anything weird.
Isolated, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, so I have fun with the fact that people try to assume that you're the CEO.
Me too.
Because to me, it's just, I know some women would get upset, infuriated, whatever. But I love sitting back and just watching people who assume.
Yeah.
Like that, and getting to just observe, and it kind of allows me to have that little bit of distance at events, because he goes to most like networking events with me. And
I can run blocker for you.
And he will send on the people that have a legitimate need to talk to me, and maybe they need content advice, different. Because
we do consulting work too.
Yeah, and
I've done enough communications work, and you've done enough in the social media world. We get it.
And but he's able to then just kind of see who's just there to kick the tires and isn't actually going
who's
to
a looky-loo and who's in.
Yeah, they're just window shopping.
Yeah.
And that I appreciate that greatly, just because I'm not sitting there feeling like I'm talking to this person. I don't want to be rude, but there's somebody else I could be spending my time better with.
And I have a great deal of patience. That's one of my strengths.
He has a lot more patience than I do.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, in my previous life, I was, I could go in and sit down with somebody for 3 or 4 hours if they needed it, to go sit down and counsel with them.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And I don't feel burnt out after it.
No.
That's the way I'm wired. So I get to be that for you.
Yes. And I'm very appreciative of that. And I'm also glad that you came on board, because when it was just me, because it was me for a while, it was becoming pretty much a women-only business. Like, that's who I was networking with. Yeah. That's who, clients were looking to be. And I didn't want to make a women's only kind of business.
Not women's only, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a much broader, cross-section of the creative
world. We're pro everybody.
Yeah, I want everybody here, but that's just where it was tending to go. Yeah. And I'm kind of like, how do I fix this, and be able to reach out and get beyond that crowd. And it was difficult for me. And then when you came on board, it just kind of naturally happened. Right.
And I know, and then you talked about this earlier from your perspective, but on my end, I know there would be some guys who they would just be like, I don't know, ashamed. They would struggle with having to work for their wife or work for a woman. And that's such an archaic mindset, and I'm super chill with this stuff, and I'm proud of you, and I'm glad to get to do this. And again, we complement each other naturally, so this is an easy thing to do. But I love when people assume that I'm the one in charge and I get to just nope, pass it off to you, and to watch that little light bulb go on and go, oh, it's like, that's right. The world does not operate the way you think it does sometimes. And, my manhood is not threatened. I'm not scared, but I love this. I love the setup. I think it's great.
There is a really funny video that Mystery Science Theater made fun of. It was like a short they had in front of theirs. And we'll link it
in
the descriptions, and we'll have it here for
you.
Because it's this guy who comes in and he's all upset that he's been given a female assistant.
It's so bad.
It is.
It's so bad.
And the fact that this video had to be made, like, really
you
speaks
go
into
be
the
emotional
time.
over there. Let the real people do the work.
Yeah, that speaks into
It's
where
so
the world
cringy.
has come from.
Yeah.
It's like that. This seems absurd to us. That tells you, we've come a long distance. That is like,
there's
what?
more to go, but we've come a ways. Yeah.
And I will celebrate that the world has come to that point. Not that we've arrived, but
We're working on stuff.
But I don't. Okay, another point. I don't think you ever arrive, and that's part of the reason for the name Beta.
That's right.
The moment you arrive, I think you lose purpose.
You start to die.
And I hope to never arrive.
Right.
Because of that. That I'm always wanting to try something new. I'm living in Beta.
Right.
And that life, and that is what we're here to do. We're here for you to come. Like, if you have an idea and you just want to try it out and see.
Come experiment.
Yeah.
Walk down the road. Don't sit on the idea. Do something with it.
Yeah, try it. Experiment. Yeah. Don't wait. And so that's one of those, like, I'm glad that we still have something to be working towards.
Right. We've created a space for people to come and experiment with boldness if they've never done it before. Yeah, put themselves out there.
Yeah, this show is new.
Right.
We're going to try new things. We're going to be going in different paths with it, as it grows. And we've kind of figured out, oh, this feels like us. This doesn't feel like us.
Right. And I think you and I are a little weird in this respect, in that I've been speaking publicly for over 20 years, and you've been, putting yourself out there on YouTube for several years now. And we've both, quote unquote, I'm air quoting here, people on the podcast.
I have not done a single air quote.
You have
yet.
not? Quiet high five. We have, I guess, gotten over that awkwardness that people fear about, we're talking to a camera and into microphones, and there's no one in the room but you and I right now, but we understand people are listening.
Yeah, and we don't feel like self-conscious.
I don't feel weird at all about this.
Maybe that says something that we're willing to talk to ourselves.
Yeah. You don't? So, but no, the thing is, and we want to be here for people to help them jump that hurdle, because you can get past it. Everybody can. And it becomes much more natural to have these conversations when you understand that there are people who want to engage with you on the other side, and it's just a delayed conversation rather than a real-time conversation. It's no different. And once you jump that hurdle, it becomes so much easier.
Oh, that feeling when that actually becomes a real conversation is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
When you get that first comment, and not a hater comment, but a real comment. And
I'll tell you what, hater comments, that stuff rolls right off my back. I don't even care.
I am working hard on that. I would love to say that it just rolls right off, and I'm getting there, but
I'll go straight to Wendy's on their Twitter account and tell them to troll me. I don't care.
I have zero desire for that. But when you start getting that conversation, it's exciting, and it's like, okay, I'm actually like now part of this little community that I've created.
These people get it. They understand where I'm coming from.
The community is not just me.
No.
Because that's how it starts.
There's three of us here, me, myself, and I. Yeah, it's like, no, it goes beyond that. It's so cool. Yeah, no, I love it.
So that's what we're wanting to be here to walk alongside people as they create.
It's part of that collaborative process. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing the people who are going to come through here, and they're going to come in with an idea, and then we get to be here cheering them on as that idea grows into reality and community. Right.
Because, again, with your YouTube stuff, when you started to reach out and get other people involved, and you can tell that story if you want, that's when things really started to
that'll
pop.
be in history
That's
a little bit more. We've got the next one is our history.
That's true.
I wanted to talk about
spoilers,
why and what first, but so.
Yeah. Collaboration matters.
Yeah,
is what it comes
does.
down to. And
it
we'll dig
really,
into that
really
more in
does.
the next one.
So, and teamwork. And we've actually got like a full podcast on teamwork. So that'll be coming.
Yeah. I'm excited about that
Full
one. That
episode.
was going to be fun.
So I think we've covered everything. We've hit our bullet points.
Yay!
In a somewhat
6 bullet points
normal progression.
Yay.
Like we had to rein it in a little bit, but I will call that a success for the podcast.
And we have with our other YouTube show, Daily Ish, we have an ish on there because we want to set a reasonable expectation with stuff. On here, you and I have this an understood expectation with this podcast is that we're not going to ramble just to fill time.
Oh, no.
We want to hit what needs to be hit, keep the meat what's meat, and then, if we need to move on to something else later, then we do it in a separate show. But
we'll be keeping them to under an hour.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to be more than an hour. And I'll have little blurbs, too, that I'll edit out so that we can do them in different time blocks, too. So you can, if you only got 5 minutes or 10 minutes, you can do.
What's the 5 minute sum up without just cranking it up to like 5 times the speed or something? If you want to chipmunk us, that's totally up to you. That's fine. But we're glad to get to share this time with you guys. Glad you're getting to join us in the journey here and see what it means to walk in that Beta.Life.
Beta Haus.Life. You forgot the house.
I didn't forget the house. The house where we live. All right.
Shaking my head for the podcasters right now at him.
Oh, there'll be much more of that.
There was no eye roll, though. It was just a head shake.
I did get some side eye. It wasn't an eye roll, but some side eye.
Yeah.
And on that note.
The next episode will actually come out pretty quickly right after this one, so you're not going to have to wait a long period of time. So we will see you in a couple of days.
There we go.
Or hear you? Well, we don't hear you, but we won't see. You know what I mean.
Podcast stuff.
Podcast life.
Podcast life.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.